Same question, same AI, 3 different days, 3 different responses. Not slightly different, actual different conclusions. If you have ever assumed about asking AI something once, gets as you a stable, repeatable answer, that day, that assumptions fall apart. Simple version first. I typed the exact same prompt word for word on 3 different days. Same account, same tool, nothing changed on my end. Got 3 different answers that I didn't agree with each other. Not widely different, but different enough that it's only run it once and I did only walked away with totally different impressions depending on which day I happened to ask. Two separate things cause this. Not the same problem. Once you can fix it, about a day, seconds, the other most people don't even notice that is happening. So let's go through both. One starts with simple one. The basic reason is not actually deterministic. So it starts with a simple one. When AI generates a response, it's not pulling a fixed answer off a shelf somewhere. And at every point in that answer, it's picking from a range of likely next words. And that's the randomness sitting behind that choice. Ask for the same question twice, even in the same minute, and you get slightly different phrasing, different emphasis, something a completely different conclusion on purpose, and that's the randomness is built in. Beginners should know about this that this exists. One run is a sample, not a verdict. Ask something once, treat that answer as the answer, and treating a dice roll like a fixed fact. Try on something that actually matters. Ask twice, see if it gets you the same thing back. A lot of the time you won't. Worth noting before you trust anything of one single run. So that's a beginner reason. Here's almost nobody accounts for. The reason nobody talks about, and that's the model itself that changes. So randomness explains small variations inside the same day. It doesn't explain answers that generally contradict each other 3 weeks apart. That second thing happens because the same model behind the two isn't frozen. It's just updated. Sometimes with the version number you're told about. Sometimes silently, a background improvement nobody notifies you at all. Which means that AI you asked in general isn't necessarily the AI answering you in March. Same app, same login, you never touch a setting. The behavior underneath shifted anyway. Most people have no idea this is even possible because nothing is in the interface ever tells them that it had happened. This starts mattering a lot once you have passed casual use. Beginner using for professional side, which is mild, inconsistent mostly as a curiosity. Doing anything professional with it, this is a real structural problem, and that's where it gets serious. Because yes, this actually breaks once you actually using AI for real work. So picture this. You ran analysis in month 1, came back clean, and you signed off. It went into a report, a decision got made. 2 months later, someone asks you to run it and confirm the number, or a regular wants to see how you got there. You rerun the exact same prompt and you got a different answer. Now you've got a real problem in your hands, not a small one. You can't fully explain why the two runs disagree because the two change underneath you and nothing told you. Casual context, mildly annoying, compliance context, financial context, and anything with a proper trail attached. I can't reproduce my own result is a generally hole in your process, not a directly footnote. And this is exactly the kind of thing that doesn't look like a problem until the day when someone actually asks you to defend a number. By then, it's too late to go back and fix how you did it the first time. So, if you can't stop the model from changing on you, what do you actually do? Here's what I do now for anything that has to fold up later. First, for anything where consistency matters, turn the randomness down as far as the tool lets you. Most platforms have a setting for this, sometimes called temperature, sometimes called bitrate in advanced settings. Lower it and cut the day-to-day noise a lot. Won't eliminate it completely, but it changed a lot. Secondly, and this is one that actually deals with the model changing problem, log into your inputs and outputs somewhere outside the tool. Not I remember when I asked, an actual saved copy, exact prompt, exact response, timestamped, sitting in a document or a spreadsheet you control. So if someone asks you to reproduce something 8 weeks later and the live tool gives a different answer, you are not stuck. You got the original record and you can explain exactly what had happened and change when, instead of just shrugging. Third, for anything generally high stakes, don't run it once, run the same prompt 3, 4, 5 times in a short window. See if the answer agree. 5 runs converging on the same conclusion equals real signal of stability. Answer scatter, that's information too. It's telling you this isn't something to treat as one settled fact. As one simple as, and just like the last episode, there's proportional questions sitting under all of this. You don't need to log in and multi-run everything. First draft on of any email, brainstorming ideas, anything low stakes, easy to redo. Nothing of this matters just because you use it and move on. But when it comes non-negotiable, anywhere a number, a conclusion, or a claim might need defending later, you're reproducing it later, you're showing something to someone else as a proof of how you got there, that's the line. Irreversible. Low stakes, don't bother. Something you need to stand behind months from now, build a habit in what to start. Retrieving a paper trade after the fact is a lot harder than keeping one as you go. So if you take one thing from this, don't assume asking something once today gets you the same answer next month. For anything that matters, turn down the randomness, keep your own record outside the tool, and when the stakes are high enough, ask more than once and check later the answers if it's actually agree. On the next episode, I wanted to look at something almost nobody questions. What happens when you give an AI a task slightly outside what it was actually built for, and why it actually usually won't tell you that's what's going on. See you in the next one.